Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Mine means a lot. And if you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. Today is going to be a very interesting video. I'm going to talk about not necessarily 41, not necessarily 40, not necessarily 39, not necessarily Worlds of Par, not necessarily Cambodia. I'm talking about new school in general. I'm going to talk about why the 5 things that I think new school gets wrong. The 5 things wrong with new school. That's going to be the headline for this video. I think it's gonna be a really cool video. I think New School is overall, in my opinion, the best version of Survivor, but that does not mean that it goes without flaws. And for that reason, I do have to knock it. And so I'm going to talk about my 5 things that I think are wrong with New School Survivor. And getting right into it, number one is a lack of focusing on character moments. It's always about the vote. It's always about this. I know how the vote's going to be sometimes, and yet they're still showing me, oh, well, like this person could do this, or this person could just show me like somebody's emotions, which I do think that they have done in certain seasons, David versus Goliath, which is why it's one of the best. It's probably the best new school season. They kind of show it in Winners at War. But my issue comes when they just don't show any character moments. It's only strategy. It's only game bodiness. I didn't go out. I didn't turn my TV to watch just a bunch of game. I don't watch Big. I don't watch Big Brother for a reason. It's because I want to watch people play Survivor, not play a game body Big Brother type of game. Moving on. Number two is not necessarily like a big flaw, but it's something that irks me, and it's the show's like needingness to need a blindside every episode. You don't need a blindside every episode. That whole like string of Micronesia blindsides kind of started this because they've always wanted to like get that magic back. Because it was like oh, it was Eliza, and then it was Ozzy, and then it was Jason, and then James got him back, and then it was Alexis, and then it was Eric. And so I feel like they've always tried to like get that back. And so like when they'll like do like the recap for the season, it'll always be like, and then after a vicious stream of blindsides, they weren't all blindsides. Stop calling it blindsides. Not every vote has to be a blindside for the vote to be interesting, or more importantly, for the episode to be interesting. And I really don't like when the show tries to call every single vote a blindside, because then it's really hard to differentiate when a vote is actually a vicious blindside, like the Michaela one, for an example. But if you're just gonna call every vote in that entire season a blindside, then like how are you gonna explain to me that the Michaela boot is extra special when you're calling every single vote a blindside? It kind of takes away from the actual crazy blindsides, like the Michelle boot, and like these other crazy boots, like the Jessica Pete blindside. I need a bit more. I need a bit more. All right. So my third reason, I do have to clarify. My third reason is not saying that I don't like the addition of the advantages in the game. I like them. I like the extra vote. I like the steal vote. I like the legacy advantage. I like all those advantages. But there's some that just have to ruin it for all the other ones. And for me, my fourth reason is just there's some advantages that take it a little too far and are a little ridiculous, such as the idle nullifier. What? An advantage is supposed to give power to the minority. The idle nullifier makes the majority the ultimate power, because there's nothing that the minority can do, I guess, except use an extra vote or something. Why would you give the majority the ability to X out and any power that the minority has? That's how you get a pagonging. I feel like production just saw Ben Idle's way at the end, and they like wanted, and like they to combat that, because people were mad about that. They added the Idle like nullifier, and I just found it really dumb and stupid, and it really wasn't like very smart thing to do, in my opinion. So that's my third one, is some very stupid advantages, or like the 50 coin. No advantage should be like up the chance as to whether or not it works. Like it's either 0% or 100%. Now I can understand like advantages where it's like, okay, well, if this happens, then it's more powerful, it's less powerful. But if you're gonna make something just not an advantage, if it lands on the wrong side of the coin, plus the fact that the person can like learn how to flip it so that it lands on the same side, like the entire time. That's what I would do. So I feel like that's also pretty stupid. So just these stupid advantages is definitely my number 3 pick on this list. Now this only goes for certain seasons. So there's seasons where this is fine, but then there's seasons where this isn't a thing. For example, I'm looking at the season 42 cast online. As of filming this, season 42 isn't even close to coming out. But then you also look at the Ghost Island cast. Cast is like, um, I'm trying to think, like the Ghost Island cast, the 41 cast, even casts where there's like a few of them, there's not enough of them, and them is older people. I need age diversity, so that's why my number 4 is age diversity. I'm not seeing enough age diversity like in Borneo, where we had 3 people over the age of 60, and there was, I think, another person over the age of 50. I don't just want like 1 or 2 people over the age of 40 in the entire season. That's a big no. That's how you get Ghost Island. We don't want Ghost Island. Ghost Island can go away, okay? Because we don't want Ghost Island. We want we want a 41 cast. I'm loving this 41 cast. I think it's been a really good season because it's a diversity of age. I like that. People always talk about diversity, whatever, male and female, or diversity race. I think those are levels below age diversity, because I feel like more of your identity is your age than of your race or your gender. That's just my opinion. So I think that it's more important that you get older people on the show than to get more whatever gender, whatever race, because I feel like when you put people who are older, that's more of an important change in culture than the actual change in like actual culture. It's because I think age is so important. I'm 15. I don't want to see a bunch of 18-year-olds on the screen, even though I can identify with them probably the most, because sometimes I don't. And sometimes, it becomes like seeing like your worst enemy like on the TV screen, like seeing the 18-year-old that you hate on the TV screen. I I love seeing older people. I like rooting for older people because I kind of identify with older people personally. I'm kind of an old soul myself, if if I do say so myself. But yeah, so I just need some more age diversity because I feel like that's necessary in order to move further in the series in a more diverse way. All right, number 5 refers to this whole. Sorry, it's my phone in the background. It's not your phone. I promise. You're not going crazy. You're not going crazy. Okay. Number 5 references for me something that at first was super cool, and then the second time it was super cool, and then the third time it was cool, and then the fourth time it was kind of annoying, and then the fifth time I was snoring, and then the sixth time I was just like angry. And that's whispering at tribal. There needs to be something. Either they need to mic them up, or they already have them mic'd up and they're just not showing it because they want to be more suspenseful, which I really don't like. I'd much rather be spoiled on the vote in most circumstances than to not know what's going on. Unless you can not spoil me without but still let me know what's going on. Do not do the whole withholding whispering from tribal, because I mean, obviously, there's no way to ban whispering from tribal. That'd be a huge overreach of the show. I always compare Survivor's production to a government because they're very libertarian as far as what they allow the contestants to do. You can't pool money, and you can't fight people, and that's pretty much it. So I feel like that'd be a huge overreach of their power, but they also need to make sure that they know that they show the viewer enough whispering so that the viewer knows what's going on and isn't just absolutely dumbfounded in a bad way when the vote comes up as a blind side or whatever. And so my fifth one is more regulation as far as editing goes, not as far as the actual game goes, of whispering at tribal. And that's my 5. Thank you so much for watching my video. 81% of you guys who are watching this video aren't subscribed. Let's change that. It's easy and it's free, and that's it. Thank you for watching.